1 second, let me just check if we are audible. Yes, we are audible. Guys, क्या हाल है सब लोग? Oh, the chat is very dead today apparently. They'll be joining in. It's an afternoon session. Everyone is working. It's a working day apparently. Guys, we have a very brilliant speaker today. Khushika, I'm audible to you? Yeah?
Yes, you are.
Perfect. How are you doing? And welcome to Designer.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm absolutely glad to be here. And yeah, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm very happy to be here.
Perfect. And just checking in, guys. Press 1 if you can hear us, and you can hear Kushika also clearly. अगर चाहिए तो मैं ऑडियो अभी बढ़ा दूंगा. If everything is fine, press 1. Yep. All right. Perfect. So थोड़ा सा स्टार्ट करेंगे विद कुशिका विद हाउ डिड यू एक्चुअली गेट इनटू डिजाइनिंग. पहले वो जानना चाहूँगा मैं.
Sure. So, my story is a bit different from other designers who are already doing great. I'm not actually from the designing field, okay? And it might, get people stuck ki how someone can be a designer if he or she's not from designing field. But it's like, if something is tend to happen, it will. Okay, so I was actually a UPSC student and मुझे UPSC ही करनी थी and I wanted to be an IS officer. But when corona came, so I started looking for other things कि क्या हो सकता है, because that time was very like आप बहुत free हो, आप बहुत बोर हो रहे हो. My 12th was going on and I was like, let's do something. ठीक है.
Hmm.
So I started doing freelancing and I discovered कि okay, logo designing is something, and then there's a lot of other designing. You can design posters, you can do this, you can do that. So there were a lot of things that people were actually doing, and वो काफी you know everything seemed so much excite मतलब काफी you know अच्छा था देखने में.
Hmm.
So I thought let's do something. अगर पैसा आ रहा है तो let's do something. Because in that time you are like you just want money. You just want a source जहाँ से आपको पैसा आ सकता है.
Hmm.
So I also tried something and I started designing logos जबकि मुझे लोगो का L भी नहीं पता था. Okay, so I just give it a thought. Let's do this.
Hmm.
So I started doing it, and somehow it worked. Somehow I started getting a few clients. एक client आया, I did a very bad job, but ठीक है, पैसा आ रहा था तो it's fine. Because उस time पे client को भी नहीं पता होता. Even if a client comes to you, he doesn't know what he wants. But if you are the expert, you know कि उसको क्या चाहिए, क्या उसका business है, and you are the one who should always suggest and advise. So it's like उस time पे जो बनाया, I was getting money. एक client आया, दो client आया, it was okay. But Upwork पे इस तरह से grow करना, it takes time. It always takes time. And I was doing everything on Upwork. I tried a lot of other sites too, but they did not work.
Hmm.
So धीरे-धीरे, I just came to Instagram. I saw, okay, Instagram पे भी it's going on. People are making content and people are doing really great. Other designers who are doing packaging, branding, and a lot more things. I was like, okay, logo designing के अलावा भी there are a lot of things. Graphic designing is just, is a very broad term. And उसके अलावा you have a lot of options to what can you do actually. So I explored a few more things. I got into branding. Okay, branding bhi kuch hai. You can do packaging. You can do a lot more things, and you work with brands, so you get a lot more money than working on just a logo.
Hmm.
ठीक है. तो धीरे धीरे चीजें एक्सप्लोर करी एंड आई गॉट इनटू कंटेंट क्रिएशन एंड वहां से कंटेंट काम करना शुरू किया एंड पीपल रियली लाइक माय कंटेंट पीपल लाइक एवरीथिंग. सो वो धीरे धीरे गया एंड आई ऑल्सो स्टार्टेड लर्निंग अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स बिकॉज जब आप लोगों को सिखा रहे होते हो ना व्हेन यू स्टार्ट मेकिंग कंटेंट तो आपको भी सीखना पड़ता है.
Hmm.
यू कैन नॉट जस्ट से एनीथिंग. आपको अपनी रिसर्च करनी पड़ती है बैक एंड पे. सो दैट इज समथिंग आई थिंक दैट हेल्प मी अ लॉट टू बिकम अ गुड डिजाइनर.
Hmm.
And even it's still working for me.
True.
So I think that was the whole journey, and today I'm here and I'm on this platform and I'm here presenting a workshop. It's really nice.
That's great to hear. And काफ़ी interesting story है आपकी भी because not everyone is ready at start to launch a personal brand because पहले तो बहुत difficult था when it like COVID नहीं आता तो like बहुत सारे लोग शायद आते भी नहीं. पर्सनल
Yes.
ब्रांड होते भी नहीं, एग्जिस्ट भी नहीं करते। तो कोविड ने काफ़ी हेल्प किया है, बट ऑब्वियसली आपने भी काफ़ी एक अपना स्पेसिफिक स्टाइल बना लिया अब व्हेन इट कम्स टू द कंटेंट दैट यू क्रिएट, एंड
Mhm.
दैट्स एक्चुअली ऑसम। तो राज, वी हैव इन द चैट, राज कैन यू जस्ट ड्रॉप इन खुशिका का इंस्टा पेज सो दैट पीपल कैन सी। ऑब्वियसली काफ़ी सारे लोग जानते ही होंगे, कहीं ना कहीं तो देखा ही होगा फॉर श्योर, खुशिका का इतना ज़्यादा ट्रेंडी कंटेंट है, तो कहीं ना कहीं तो पक्का देखा होगा। विल बिगिन गाइज। एक लास्ट बार बोलूँगा कि प्रेस वन इफ़ यू आर रियली रियली एक्साइटेड, टाइप वन इन द चैट। उससे पता चल जाएगा कि इफ़ एवरी वन इज़ देयर। वी हैव 28 फोक्स इन द चैट। काफ़ी सारे लोग बाद में भी देखने वाले हैं इसको। सो आइडिया क्या है आज का विद खुशिका इज़ वेरी सिंपल, दैट अभी मैम ने एक जो टॉपिक तुम लोगों ने देखा है ऑन द डेक्स, ऑन द थंबनेल एंड द टाइटल, डेक भी उसी के ऊपर है, हाउ टाइपोग्राफी इज हेल्पिंग इन ब्रांडिंग ऑब्वियसली। एंड वो होगा पहले, एंड देन उसके बाद वी विल हैव अ स्मॉल Q&A सेशन विद यू ऑल सो दैट यू कैन इंटरेक्ट विद खुशिका मैम। एंड कमिंग एक वर्कशॉप भी आ रही है जिसके अंदर विल ट्राई आवर बेस्ट टू ब्रिंग खुशिका मैम इफ दिस गोज वेल फॉर श्योर। सो लेट्स गो मैम, यू कैन प्रेजेंट योर स्क्रीन।
Okay, okay.
या परफेक्ट।
Okay.
या इट्स विजिबल, यू कैन गो अहेड।
Amazing. Okay, should I start?
गाइस यस लिख दो जल्दी जल्दी, मज़ा आ जाएगा।
Okay, great. People have started saying yes. तो करते हैं start because जो लोग नहीं भी आएंगे, जो लोग लेट आएंगे, they can see this later on. So I think we should start. Okay, so today's topic is going to be how typography helps in branding because a lot of people think that branding में of course बहुत सारी चीजें आती है. Branding is not just about typography, it's not just about logo, and it's not just about colors. So branding is like a powerful package that contains a lot of things. And of course har cheez pe dhyan dena, it's very important. But right now we are doing this workshop for fonttuber and it's all about fonts, it's all about typography. So abhi ke liye we are going to focus on typography only and how it helps brand and how it helps like in branding, how it influences you guys, how it influences everyone to buy the products. Okay, so I just hope it's going to be very much excited, like it's going to be very much not excited, I just cannot recall the words. Okay, so let's start. So this is how typography looks with a lot of colors, with a lot of styles, and with a lot of styles of typography and fonts. We have serifs, we have sans serifs, we have a lot of styles in our design field, and I think it's very great. It's very great that हमारे पास इतने सारे ऑप्शन हैं and we can have a lot more personalities from our fonts. We can bring a lot of personalities to our designs, we can bring a lot of personalities to the brands and to the packagings. Okay, so coming to the next point, I'm going to ask you a question. Okay, have you ever picked a product simply because it felt right? Because as a designer, I think if you all are a designer, you must have done this because as a designer, हम लोग यही करते हैं. If we go to any shopping mart, what we do is just look at the packaging. Okay, it's good. अगर हमें वो product नहीं भी चाहिए होता, but if it looks good, it looks like बहुत ही eye pleasing है, the colors are very good, the typography is very good, it's like it's speaking to you that okay, buy me, it's yummy and it's something. So you just go and you just buy, and that's how typography actually works, that's how the branding actually works. So if you guys have picked a product simply because it felt right, I would like to know what kind of product you ever picked from any mart or any shop. I'm waiting. Even if even if you have any product around you that has a great typography on the packaging or on the product itself, you can just type the name of the brand or the product. I would love to see. Then we're gonna move ahead. Kinder Joy, yes. Kinder Joy has very like they have used a sans serif font going on the like on for the logo on the packaging. So it's like very approachable and friendly kind of font they have used, and it's actually going with the colors with the brand personality also. So that's I think that is something we're gonna talk about today in the whole presentation in the whole workshop. And club soda, okay, Bombay 99 club soda. Someone has okay. I have not seen the packaging or even the product, but I think this sounds good. Bombay 99 club soda. The name is amazing. Okay, actually there are so many. Few days I bought only spice. Just wait, just wait. Okay. Okay, so there are a lot more products and you have bought many products. So let's move to the next part. I'm going to ask you now, this is a situation time, and I'm going to ask you guys a question and you have to answer. There are two-person, let's suppose there are two-person A and B, and they want to buy an ice cream each. Okay, now A has 50 rupees and B has 500 in the pocket. Where do you think A or B will go? Okay, I hope this is clear. There are two-person A and B. A के पास 50 rupees है, B के पास 500 rupees है, and you have to let me know and you have to think कि if these are like if these are the names, if this is how it's written on the store's front, what do you think where do you think A will go and where do you think B will go? I'm waiting in the chat. I'm waiting for your answers. Okay, let's start with the A. Where do you think A will go? If he has 50 rupees in the pocket and he wants to buy an ice cream. The name of the ice cream shop is same. It's just the font. It's just how it is written. It's just what kind of vibe it is giving to you. A. Okay. A will go to A. Okay, I'm waiting for more answers. A. A will go to A, I guess. Okay. Okay, he'll go to D. He'll go to second. Okay, to B, B. It's not like you have to guess कि where will you go, but you have to think कि अगर A के पास only 50 rupees है, where will he go? A go to B, nearest one. Okay. People are really funny in the chat box. Do you really think A will go to the B? Okay, फिर अगर A B के पास जाएगा, like A will go to this one, then where do you think B will go? Like जिसके पास 500 रुपए है, जिसके पास 500 है, where will he go? Yes. If he has 50 rupees, he will go to A. Okay, people are typing. They're going to C or D. Okay, okay. So it's not being about clear. Okay. So the motive of this, this exercise or this test or this situation system was to check कि किस तरह के fonts, what kind of emotion do they evoke, what kind of emotion are you feeling right now when you see these fonts, because the name is same, okay, the colors is same, but still you are getting different kind of emotion. आपको लगता है कि A maybe A के पास जाएगा if he has 50 rupees, or maybe he'll go to C or D. But अगर 500 वाला है, because B somehow looks a bit, the slanting font, the script font, and it looks a bit luxury kind of thing. It's maybe it's giving a vibe. और कुछ लोगों को लगता है that A has very clear and clean typography, so maybe it is a bit expensive a shop. तो A या B उनके पास जाएगा. So it totally depends. If you even like, what I want to say from here is कि किस तरह की आपके पास typography है, what kind of typography is being used by your brand, like what kind of fonts are you using as a brand, as a brand आपकी क्या personality है, what kind of fonts are you using according to your personality, that matters a lot and that affects a lot to your audience. Okay, so from my side, I think A के पास अगर 50 rupees है, then he'll go to C or D. And if अगर B के पास 500 rupees है, then he'll go to A or either to B, because they looks very clean and a bit expensive kind side of shops. Okay, let's move ahead. So what I want to conclude here is that we all are type consumers. It's not about ki jo designers hote hain, they only consume designs, they only consume types and fonts every day, but it's more about that even if you are a normal audience, that even if you are just a person who buys from shop, from online, from social media, from websites of brands, you still are a type consumer. We all are a time consumer. Hum har jagah pe, even if I'm going to someone's site, even if I'm going to a retail mart, even if I'm going to like anywhere, everywhere where you see products, where you see anything that is consumed by human beings, you will always find type. You will always find typography, and it affects you, not like consciously, but it affects you subconsciously. It is forming a kind of thought process in your mind, but it's not saying that okay aisa ho raha hai, but you will still feel it. Okay, so what exactly typography is? Okay, since we have been using this typography since long in our designs, और अभी हम लोग बात भी कर रहे हैं how typography says a lot about itself, about the brand personality, and about a lot of things. So what I want to know is what exactly typography is, and I want to know कि आप लोगों को क्या लगता है. I'll be waiting for your answers in the chat box. What do you think typography actually is? You guys are taking so much time to type. I think all of you are very busy with just typing on keyboard, and वहाँ की आदत हो गई है. You are not very much used to the phones now. Typography design with text. Okay, style. Let's get into it. Okay, typography is an art of arranging the letters, fonts, typefaces to make written information legible, readable, and visually appealing. Because it's not just about making fancy things. Okay, because I know a lot of designers just think designing is all about making things very much aesthetic, but it's not always about aesthetics. It's more about functionality. ठीक है, इसलिए typography is also not just about कि okay when we are working on a logo, okay this typography is looking good, okay ये icon के साथ जा रही है, let's use this one. और maybe हम अगर हम लोग luxury brand पे काम कर रहे हैं तो we have to use thin fonts. It's not always like that. It has to be legible, it has to be readable, it has to be visually appealing. Visually appealing is like the last stage. Okay, पहले वो legible होना चाहिए, वो readable होना चाहिए. तो there are a lot more things that are considered while selecting a typography for a brand. Okay, it's not just about aesthetics. So that is something we always have to see while we are selecting a typography or even colors or anything for a brand or anything for our designs. So typography should be legible, it should be readable, and it should be visually appealing. If you guys do not know a lot about legible and readable and what is the difference between those two words, legible is like you are able to see the difference between each and every letter. You are able to you know remember the letter. You are able to recall the letter. Okay, this is T, this is Y, this is P. Okay, everything is not same, everything is not confusing. You are able to read each and every letter. And readable is how seamlessly you are going through the letters, how seamless it is that you are reading it. So legible and readable are two different things, and you should know the difference between both the words, both the terms. Okay, now we have learned how, like we did the exercises ki agar matlab kis tarah se typography, even if it's the same word, even if it's the same word that is written over there, how it affects you, how it affects your mind, how it makes you buy things, and how it influences you to think about the brand, to think about the design or the product. Okay, so now we're gonna see ki these posters, I don't know, I think design is something कि हर किसी को वो अलग अलग चीज दिखती है. ठीक है, इफ मे बी इफ इट इज नॉट गुड टू मी, हो सकता है किसी को ये चीज पसंद आ रही हो, बिकॉज डिजाइन इज नॉट सब्जेक्टिव टू अ पर्सन. It depends. It varies to each person. Okay. Now, factory, fresh and cooked seafood, eat here or take out, homemade soup, salads. Okay. सबसे पहले तो layout में there are very much mistakes. Okay, but we are not here to talk about layouts. We are here to talk about typography, and this is not how it is done. It's not legible. Even if it's legible, it's not readable. आपको बहुत problem आ रही है पढ़ने में, and this is how it is done. Typography में there are a lot of things that we have to take care of, and that is, what we discussed also, and what we are also going to discuss. Even if I look at this poster, the kind of colors, the kind of fonts used in the poster, and just that I say, there are no specification, there are no, like, nothing is bold, and jo hierarchy hoti hai that we talk about in the fonts, in the colors, so that, as a reader, I have to see कि, okay, this is something I have to read as first, and then this second, this third, and this fourth. So that जो पूरा hierarchy होती है, जो पूरा system होता है कि आपको, you have to read everything in an order. The order is not there, the layout is not there, and even in the typography you have to maintain all those things while working on your designs. Okay, great. Now, type should be invisible. Okay, now this is a very bold statement, and I would like you guys to explain, अगर आपको समझ आता है, कि why type should be invisible. Can you guys answer this? Why type should be invisible? Awaiting the chat box. Type should be blend in with the design, makes one feel like it's part of their daily life kind of thing. Very good. I want one or two more guys to try this. Type should be so seamless that we don't comment on it. Very good. Very nice. One more. Okay, I'm waiting for one more. Okay, we have it. I think इसका मतलब है मैसेज इतना क्लियर होना चाहिए कि टाइपो का फर्क नहीं पड़े. No, it matters. It's not like कि टाइपोग्राफी का फर्क ही ना पड़े. फर्क पड़ता है. ठीक है. I'll explain कैसे पड़ता है. Type should be invisible or we can be blind. No, we cannot be blind. Okay. Let me explain. Type should be invisible. Q, because let's understand this with an example. Okay, when you're driving, when you're on a very smooth road, what do? You just enjoy the scenes around you. Okay, पेड़ बहुत सुंदर है, पेड़ बहुत लंबे हैं, the greenery is very good, and you are just having fun on the road. Okay, but what if you are driving on a road which has a lot of potholes, बहुत ज़्यादा, you know it's not smooth, and you are not able to drive properly, बहुत ज़्यादा potholes है, कभी आप ऊपर जा रहे हो, you have to push the brake, and बहुत दिक्कत आ रही है, you cannot drive in speed, because that is what people like. So it's like, जब road smooth नहीं है, you are having fun, you are not thinking about the road, you are having just you're just having the experience. Okay, you are focusing on the experience, you are focusing on more beautiful things. Okay, and when road is rough, you are focusing on the road itself, that road rough hai, you are not having the good experience, and a lot more things. And that is exactly how typography works. When you are reading an information and typography is not good, you will focus on the typography because it's not readable, it's not legible, or it's not like, it's not giving you the vibe. Okay, if I talk very generously, it's not giving you the vibe. But if typography is very good, okay, it's giving you the vibe, so you will focus more on the information. And that is how it works when we have to write a lot of matter on the website or on any product. ठीक है, हम लोग क्या किस चीज पर ध्यान देंगे, that we make the typography so seamless, so smooth, that you don't have to focus on the typography. You're more focusing on the written matter, you're more focusing on the information, to absorb the information. Okay, that's how typography works. You have to make the typography invisible so that you can focus more on the information, you can enjoy the information. Okay, great. But type should stimulate response. अब मैंने कहा कि type, typography or type should be invisible, it should be invisible, but it should simulate response. अब invisible होगा, but how it will, stimulate response? But still, अगर कोई चीज invisible है, now you must be thinking, अगर कोई चीज invisible है, how it is making sense, how it is still evoking, emotions. Okay, it should be very like invisible, but it should still stimulate response. How? Okay, so if I'm talking about similar response, okay, if I talk about human brain, if I talk about human psychology, what human brain does is it starts making patterns. Okay, even before I'm going to read something, I'll just my eyes, my brain will start making patterns before reading it. Okay, so when I'm looking at a typography, when I'm looking when I'm looking on a information, what I'll do is I'll start perceiving it कि okay क्या लिखा हुआ है, what kind of emotions I'm getting out of the information. If I'm looking at a packaging which is like green color है, ठीक है, it's like very eco-friendly and sustainable, even when I'm looking at the typography I'll have a vibe कि okay this is something related to this, even before I have read the information. So it's like typography maybe you have vibes that are going on, you have things that are going on, so that people also get the vibe even before reading it. So it has to stimulate response, it has to stimulate an emotion. Okay, so that is how the whole things work. So it should suggest an emotion. It could be loud, it could be heavy, it could be light, it could be tasty. Because when you go to an ice cream shop, when you go to an ice cream, like you see a brand or you see a packaging, you get a taste, you get an emotion. If you go to an expensive shop, you have that emotion of expensiveness from the words that are going on. It could be kiddish, it could be retro, slow, fast. So even before you read something, you get a vibe, and these are the vibes you can get. Okay, so even when your typography is invisible, it has to make an emotion, it has to make you feel an emotion. So type is like magician. And why is it so? Kabhi मैं कह रही हूँ कि type is invisible, kabhi मैं कह रही हूँ type is like magician. Can someone explain it? Why is it magician? Okay, let me explain why type is like magician. What does a magician do? Okay, if I talk about ki magician kya karta hai, what does a magician do? What he does is he just he's not playing with the skill. He's not playing with the skill in manner that कि उसको क्या करना है, उसको अपना magic बहुत जल्दी जल्दी finish करना है, so that people just uh, वो देख रहे हैं and they just go. It's like he focuses more on this thing, how he can distract your mind and put the focus on a particular thing so that you feel it as a magic. Okay, what he exactly is doing, he's just distracting your mind to a particular thing. And that is how typography works. Typography, by becoming invisible, is taking your focus to the information. Okay, so typography is like a magician which is distracting your focus to a particular thing so that you can enjoy the information. So typography is invisible, it stimulates response, and is like a magician. I think this is something you have heard for the very first time, and this must be super cool. Great. Okay, so now we are going to move ahead why and how fonts matter in branding. Okay, because this is something very important, and we have built a very proper base कि किस तरह से चीजें चलती हैं, how fonts matter and how typography matters a lot while we are looking at the packaging, we are looking at the website or anything. Okay, great. So now we're going to look at how and why fonts matter in branding. Example time. Okay, so I would like to know what kind of vibe this font is giving you. I'm waiting in the chat box. What kind of vibe it is giving you? Yes, it's giving elegant, it's giving luxurious, it's not giving cute. How is it giving cute? I'm waiting for more answers. Not scary, it gives soothing. Yes, it gives soothing. Okay, let me explain कि मुझे कैसा vibe आ रहा है. It's, it's giving a vibe of a poem, like title of a poem written by a great writer, Scary Nights. Okay, कि अब बहुत ज्यादा ना explanation होगी, and it's romantic. Yes, someone commented it's romantic. Yes, it's giving a romantic poem that will, just I'll start now reading a poem. So that's kind of vibe it's giving. Okay, now look at this one. This one, what kind of vibe are you getting from this? Horror. Yes, you are feeling horror, you are feeling scary. Or Manjulika. Okay. It's scary, it's dark. Okay, perfect. So I just, what I'm really trying to focus here is that the same typography, even if you have the same colors, if you even if you have the same background, okay, it's giving you a very different vibe just by using a different font, just by using a different typeface. Okay, so this is how fonts work कि अभी अगर इसको देख के you are getting a different personality, but इसको देख के you are getting a different vibe. एंड दिस इज हाउ इट वर्क्स फॉर ब्रांडिंग. अगर मैंने एक ऐसे ब्रांड के साथ विच इज रोमांटिक, विच इज लग्जूरियस, विच इज एलिगेंट, अगर मैं कोई डिफरेंट फॉन्ट यूज करती हूँ विच इज नॉट अटैचिंग the personality of the typeface is not going with the personality of the brand, it will not make sense. Okay, so I think that is something we have to focus on every time. Whenever we are working on a brand, whenever we are working on a branding or a packaging or something, we always have to find कि उनकी values क्या है, उनकी personality क्या है, brand की क्या personality है, and according to that, we have to focus on typography, we have to focus on colors, and we have to focus on everything. Okay, so it's that is how things work. So typeface needs to align with the brand personality. It needs to be aligned with the brand values. अगर brand की values sustainable है, that is something I talked about earlier also कि अगर brand की personality अलग है, it's futuristic, or it's something, if like, let's take an example. If I'm working on a clothing brand. Let's suppose if I'm working on a clothing brand that is very modern, straightforward, and that is very like geometric inspired inspiration and streetwear brand hai. So I have to work on the brand personality. I have to work on the typeface ki personality accordingly. I cannot just go and use a serif font because serif fonts display something else. They represent something else. So that is how everything needs to work very cohesively. When you're working on a brand identity, when you're working on something, okay, you have to work accordingly. You have to align everything accordingly. Okay. For example, how typography helps. Emotional impact. It evokes trust, excitement, luxury, and casualness. And there are a lot more feelings that you get from a typography. जैसे कि हमने पहले बात करी है, ठीक है? It can be friendly, it can be approachable, it can be brutal, it can be loud, it can be heavy, it can be strong. We are working on a clothing brand right now which has to show struggles, so we are working on the typography accordingly. We are customizing the whole typography accordingly so that it focuses on the struggles, it focuses on the overcomingness of the brand, because story is tarah se create hai. So you have to create, if you can, customize the typography. It can, if you can make it from very scratch from your own, so it's very good. You can take inspiration from anything. But if you are a good designer and you have to focus on typography, you're working on customizing the letters that are already there, so you have to work in a manner that jo personality hai, that matches, that aligns with the brand. Okay. And the second thing we are focusing on is communicating brand values. The right typography can indicate whether a brand is modern, it's traditional, it's playful, or serious. It helps the overall message a brand wants to communicate. If I talk about FedEx, कंपनी है, ठीक है, it's focuses on, like they have used a sans serif font and there is an arrow that focusing, that says that they are they are focusing on deliveries, so that is taking them forward. So they have used a sans serif font to not make everything very professional, because they are not a very professional brand. Okay, they are not a luxury brand. So that's why they have not used a serif font. They have used a sans serif font to build the trust, to build the loyalty. So that's how fonts display something. That's how they represent something. That's how they evoke emotions. Okay, great. And the third thing, we are focusing on differentiation. A unique typeface can make a brand instantly recognizable. It's an opportunity to create a distinctive visual language that sets the brand apart from competitors. Because अगर आप Disney का logo देखोगे ना, you will, even if it's blurred, you will recognize it. Okay, this is Disney. अगर आप दूर से देखोगे, you will still recognize it. Because इस तरह से वो बना हुआ है, the formation is in a particular way. It's not resembling to any other logo in the market. तो जितना ज्यादा हम डिफरेंशिएशन लाते हैं इन अ टाइप फेस, इन द लोगो, और इन द फॉन्ट्स दैट आर यूज्ड फॉर अ ब्रांड, उतना ज्यादा वो रिकॉग्नाइजेबल होता है. पीपल आर like it's easy for them to recognize the brand, it's easy for them to recall it. एंड अब इसका अगर मैं लॉन्ग टर्म में बात करने जाऊं, तो देर आर अलॉट मोर थिंग्स दैट आर कवर्ड. बिकॉज अगर एक लोगो होगा, और इफ देर इज अ टाइप फेस दैट is very easily recognizable, okay, so brand has to market it less, they have to spend less. तो उससे हम आगे बहुत सारी चीजों पर जा सकते हैं. दैट we can talk about customer acquisition costs, we can talk about a lot more things, because that is how branding works. Branding is like a lot of touch points you make for a brand, so that उनको जब भी उनकी ऑडियंस के साथ उनके साथ interact कर रही है, either it's their product, either it's their website or the packaging or anything, so they are interacting with the brand. And when you have created so many touch points that are cohesive, सब कुछ brand से related है, their typography, their colors, their packaging, there are so many things, their brand pattern, their assets, everything is very much same, everything is very much cohesive. So you have created a lot more touch points that are related to the brand only. तो जब उनकी audience interact कर रही है brand के साथ, तो the recall value just goes very high, it increases very much, and brand has to spend less on the marketing then. So that is how you can uh, see typography, you can take inspiration from a lot more things. Okay, and that is how typography also work. So key considerations when choosing a typography for a brand. Now we're going to have a look कि क्या क्या चीजें हमें कंसीडर करनी होती है when you are choosing a typography for a brand. Okay, first of all, legibility and readability, because we have been talking about this since very long, and this is like a very foundational thing when choosing a typeface, when choosing a font. A brand's message must be easily understood at a glance, whether on billboard, it's on mobile screen or product label. So you have to, because when you are building a logo, when you're building a brand ना, आपको starting में ही चीजें fix करनी होती है. You are working on brand fonts, so you have to fix it. You cannot change it later. So you have to see कि अगर वो social media पे जा रहा है, you are, if they are going on the product label, if they are going on the billboards, so is it gonna work or not, is it gonna work on everything or not, is it gonna work on every platform or not. Okay, so it's legibility, it's readability, you have to take care of everything. Then second is tone and personality. Typography should reflect brand's personality and resonate with its audience. That is what we have been talking about since very long. Ki when we are using a typography, when we are using a typeface, we have to see कि उसकी जो tone and personality है, that is matching the brand's tone and personality or not. ठीक है? तो everything needs to be cohesive. When we are even choosing colors, we have to see कि जो color के जो the emotions you are getting out of the colors, you have to see that they are going with the brand personality or not. Then we have examples, like let's take example, luxury brand hai, opt for serif typefaces because of their association with rich craftsmanship. ठीक है, तो luxury brands mostly go with serif fonts, and they go with like script fonts जिसमें बहुत ज़्यादा details होती है, intricate fonts होते हैं, so that it shows rich craftsmanship, that they have worked on everything. There's work that has gone behind everything. Then if I talk about tech startups, prefer geometric or modern sans serif typefaces that evoke innovation and simplicity. FedEx is also kind of a tech startup, not particularly, but it is. Okay, so they have used a modern sans serif font. They use more brands use geometric fonts to to show that innovation, because they go with monograms, they go with icons, and they want to take the typefaces very simple. Because if you are working on a icon, so you have to go with a very simple typeface, so that everything just get neutralized, so that जो focus है वो सब चीजों पर जाए. Because if you are working on an icon and along with the word mark, तो आप दोनों को बहुत ज्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेट नहीं कर सकते. You have to make the balance, you have to make everything very nice and simple and clean. Okay, for example, Chanel uses serif fonts to convey luxury, while Spotify uses a round sans serif to feel friendly and inclusive. Okay, so that's how it goes. Okay, Spotify ने use किया है a very friendly and inclusive font, while Chanel uses a serif font. I think there's a mistake, because Chanel has used a sans serif font. Okay, so यहाँ पे I think there's a mistake, and there needs to be a sans serif font. Okay, now if we talk about versatility across mediums. So typography should be versatile enough to work across mediums. It should be versatile across the print, packaging, social media, etc. Okay, and if I talk about variable fonts, so this allows for greater flexibility across platforms, offering different weights and styles. Okay, let me tell you a very nice thing that we have recently worked on a brand. क्या होता है ना, that have if you're working on a brand, so to make everything very versatile, to make everything very cohesive, and so that it's like uh, applicable on every platform, you sometimes make variable fonts like, okay, this is the font that is used for the logo, this is the font that will go in the packaging, this is the font that will go on this or that. So you have a font hierarchy. This headings पे ये font जाएगा. This font will go for the subheading. This font will go for the other information. So that you have variable fonts to use for a brand. So you can use different fonts, or for a lot of platforms, for a lot of mediums, and you have the options that should be used. So the brand has more options, the brand has more uh, they have options, and they can that can be used, so they are more flexible on that end. I think, and the last and the next thing that we need to talk about is consistency. Because when we are working on a brand, when you're working on a branding or a brand's personality or everything, we have to see that we are making the consistency. We are, consistent typography is essential for building brand recognition. Because if you talk about any brand, if you talk about any big brand, they have been using the same typography on everything, website, their new products, their packaging, their social media, and their assets, everything, because that's how it works. Apple uses San Francisco across all the products and advertising mediums, ensuring a consistent user experience. Okay, so this is how everything works. Branding may it needs like everything needs to go very seamless, everything needs to go very cohesive. So you have to set a specific brand fonts, you have to fix a specific brand typeface. Okay, this will go with this brand. But what if it doesn't align? What if you didn't work on all those things, and you didn't work on the personality, and you just chose a font aise hi, like generically, casually? Okay, so what will happen? This is a great example why things will not work if if you didn't go behind the concept, if you didn't did a lot of research on the back end, if you did not went into the brand strategy and how things work and how it should work. Because every brand has a guideline, every brand has a specific things कि किस तरह से चीजें काम करेंगे, and you cannot just break them down. So I would like to know in the comment section how and why do you guys think ki this redesign failed, why this logo redesign failed. It carries a casual tone. Okay. Aishwarya is saying that it carries a casual tone. Lacks distinctiveness. Yes. It's generic. Yes. But there's a just try to get into the brand कि पहले कैसा फॉन्ट उन्होंने यूज किया था एंड व्हाट शुड बी द ब्रांड पर्सनालिटी उसके अकॉर्डिंगली बट जो उन्होंने नया लोगो बनाया है विद द हेलवेटिका विद द सैंस सेरिफ फॉन्ट तो व्हाई थिंग्स डिडंट वर्क yes yes Sujal has said that it doesn't goes with the brand's personality. Yes, it doesn't goes with the brand personality because अगर आप पहले वाला लोगो देखोगे yes because अब अगर आप पहले वाला लोगो देखोगे it's a sense sorry it's a serif font ठीक है serif font है serif font says luxuriousness they are professional okay they represent a lot more things so gap की जो personality थी they were a lot more related with the craftsmanship this is a clothing brand that is there since long they are an established brand and if you are changing a logo you cannot just change the whole personality because there is a lot of difference between a serif font and between a sans serif font even if they wanted to play with the serif font even if they wanted to change the logo they should have played with the serif font only because there are a lot more things that you can do with the serif font but changing the whole personality didn't work so it's not just about the logo it's not just about कि उन्होंने logo change कर दिया they place the square in the corner और उसको बहुत छोटा कर दिया it's not about that it's all about कि personality ही change हो गई है brand की and that's something you cannot do it's the logo it's not just a typeface that is going on the packaging chota chota but it's like a main figure of your brand this is how people know you yeah it is very poorly executed and you have to take care of all those things when you're working on a very big brand or even if you're working with a very small brand or a startup you have to see कि क्या चीजें हैं जिन पे आपको काम करना है because typeface depends on a lot of things and अगर आपने typeface you have selected one तो उसके बाद भी बहुत चीजें typeface पे depend करेंगी so you have to see you have to dive deep into the brand strategy you have to dive deep कि क्या brand की personality है क्या उनकी values है क्या उनकी tone of voice है if it's professional so you have to go with a serif font if it's very casual you have to go with a sans serif font so you have to see a lot of things and then you have to design a logo or then you have to choose a typeface okay so this was it and this is how it works for the typefaces with branding and for brands and now we are open for the Q&A if you have any questions regarding to the presentation we did regarding to the workshop we did and apart from that I'm very available to answer everything
well a very detailed session by Kushika मैंने भी काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें सीखी like the legibility part was an interesting take and also I understand all of this because I have executed the same things while making designer. Ki like that we have to use a similar font across. Jैसे we have used Manrope
yeah
throughout. Like the main font is always going to be Manrope in all the posts and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
that's how it's executed. So I think सब लोगों ने काफ़ी कुछ सीखा guys. अभी we have coming 10-15 minutes for the Q&A if you wanna ask anything about designing or Hushika's life you can. कि कैसे उन्होंने डिज़ाइनिंग किया वट एवर आई थिंक दैट वी कवर्ड इन दिस फर्स्ट हाफ बट कम लोग थे उस टाइम पे
yes
यू कैन गो एंड री वॉच इट अगेन बट डिज़ाइनिंग से कुछ भी रिलेटेड हो तो स्टेज goes to the audience. Okay, we have one question. Yes.
okay okay Aishwarya is asking when two different fonts are used for the same brand logo what factors are considered I think you cannot go with two different fonts for the same brand logo because agar usme, if we are working on a brand logo, so we have the name, like the main name, and there goes the brand slogan or tagline that goes behind, like that goes below that. So you have to fix the font for the logo. You have to fix a font for the slogan you can work because kya hota na because the name is the main thing so you have to work on the name you can customize it and you can go deeper with that but for the slogan it has to be very nice it has to be very clean so अगर आप इन फैक्टर्स की बात कर रहे हो तो ऑफ कोर्स अगर हम मेन नेम की भी बात करें अगर हम नीचे स्लोगन की भी बात करें एवरीथिंग शुड बी वेरी लेजिबल एंड रीडेबल because everything is made in the logo. But the only thing that I want to mention here is that if you are talking about the logo one, you can play a lot with that. Still depends on the brand personality, because अगर वो luxurious brand है तो you can, go with the script font, you can go with a lot more things, but you have to stay with the brand personality. You can play a lot with the main font, the main brand name, but the slogan has to be very clean and minimal kind of thing. Yeah. How you deal, or what should we do when a client forces us to use certain fonts when it's not matching or not executing with the brand? Okay, what should you do? I think this is a very nice question, because I think everyone gets that kind of client कि हम लोगों को यही कलर चाहिए, हम लोगों को यही फॉन्ट चाहिए, या लोगो में हमें ये आइकन चाहिए, या ये पर्टिकुलर एलिमेंट चाहिए, because we always get. So I think the best thing you can do is try to explain, because if you are a good designer you always have to explain. अगर वो नहीं मान रहे हैं, that is like a different aspect of that thing, but first of all you should always explain that कि नहीं, अगर आप ये font use कर रहे हैं, it's not, maybe it's not legible, maybe it's not going with your personality, maybe अगर आप long term में जाएंगे it will not work on your social media, so when you scale it down it will not work. So you always have to explain these things, even if they still are not, are like okay to go with that font, like they are not ready to listen to you, then we have no option, because I think you will not get every project like this, you will not always get clients like this, but agar ek aadha aa jata hai to let it be. Your job is to advise, but if they're not listening, let it be. Okay. This question is little out of this type thing, but how can one start their Instagram journey as a design content creator? 3 tips. Okay, I think this is a nice question. Because what I think now, content creation is very good. If you are a good designer, if you have skills, you can really make your way through content creation, because आपके पास एक source है to show you to your to sorry, to show yourself, to show who you are. Because अगर हम Behance की भी बात करते हैं, you can show your designs, you can show okay these are my skills, but you are not able to connect with the audience, with your clients, with your even if you're helping other designers, because content creation mein, if you're making content on Instagram, there is another way. Okay, you are connecting with other fellow designers who are learning with you, you are connecting with your clients. So at a starting point, if you are just starting out, content creation is good, but I would suggest, because this is something I figured out very recently, that Instagram is good, but Instagram se aapko aise client milenge that will only get converted like 10 out of 100. Okay, and this happens with everyone, because Instagram pay, if you are trying to reach to bigger brands, they are there, but their hiring team is not there. So if you want to get good clients, if you want to get high paying clients, you should always start posting your content on LinkedIn, either on Twitter, or if you can do YouTube. I think that is the best thing, because you will get a lot of loyal audience out of that, and I'm also going to start YouTube very soon. So yeah, that's it. Okay, next question is how to deal with ghosting. We had a very big personality after the meet, we still got ghosted. Any tips to handle that type of situation? We had a very big personality. I think the question is a bit
I
not
think he's
clear,
asking.
but ठीक है.
Yeah, I think he's
You're on.
asking कि like ये client की meeting में गए होंगे and उसके बाद
Okay.
they got ghosted from the client.
Okay, मीटिंग में जाने के बाद भी ghosted. I think this is a very usual thing that happens with everyone. And ghosting को कैसे prevent कर सकता है? I think you cannot prevent it. ठीक है, you can never prevent it. But what you can do is, okay, I mean it totally depends कि आप, because if you are a beginner designer, you will get ghosted a lot of times, because आपके पास जो clients आते हैं, you get startups, you get people who want to start a brand. So you have to see कि आपके पास clients कैसे आ रहे हैं, because you cannot expect a lot from them कि वो आएंगे आपको पैसा देके जाएंगे, because it depends on a lot of factors. Are being ghosted by the startup brand owners, तो ये होगा, because उनको क्या है, उनको तो ये है कि जहां से कम में काम होगा वो वहां से करवाएंगे. ठीक है, तो आई डोंट थिंक यू शुड एक्सपेक्ट मच फ्रॉम देम, एंड अगर हो रहा है तो यू शुड गेट डिमोटिवेटेड. You should always try your best, and you should, try getting better clients, show your work in a good way. And अगर आप LinkedIn पे show करते हैं ना अपना काम, तो I think वहां से the probability of getting ghosted is very less. Okay, so
Also,
I
like,
think
what do you think कि like लोग oversell करते हैं क्या कभी कभार when it comes to meetings and stuff?
oversell, like the designers,
हाँ,
they do, yes.
like I think they a simple answer है don't be desperate.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, this is I think this is something I really wanted to talk about, because even in my journey na, I did this a lot. You're not desperate, but of course यार, because if अगर कोई client आपके पास आए, you want to close, because पहला भी हो सकता है, because as a freelancer ना, you always in the loop कि यार next client कब आएगा, next client कब आएगा, तो कोई भी आता है ना, you are very desperate कि इसको तो close करना है. तो आई थिंक होता है, बट यू शुड कंट्रोल दैट. ठीक है, यू शुड नॉट जस्ट से इट ऑन द फेस कि वी विल हेल्प यू इन दैट मैनर, वी विल हेल्प यू इन दैट मैनर. यू शुड ऑलवेज लिसन टू द क्लाइंट कि उनकी प्रॉब्लम क्या है. ठीक है, यू शुड ऑलवेज गिव सोल्यूशन अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर प्रॉब्लम. सो ऐसा नहीं कि जस्ट जंप ऑन देम एंड से कि नहीं नहीं आप हमसे ही काम करो, ऐसा नहीं होगा. व्हाई वुड समवन बाय फ्रॉम यू? यू ऑलवेज हैव टू शो अ वैल्यू कि आप क्या वैल्यू प्रोवाइड कर रहे हो, आपके पास क्या टेस्टिमोनियल्स है, आपने क्या वैल्यू प्रोवाइड किया फॉर अदर brands or startups. So if you have good testimonials, if you have good work, if you have a good personality and confidence, so people will always buy from you.
We have one more question
Okay.
from Sujal.
Okay. Okay. Can you explain about the legalities on fonts like font licensing? What type of license is required to use the font in a logo? Okay. So what I do is, because I have not the exact answer to this, but हम लोग क्या करते हैं, we have bought Envato elements, we have bought a few places like softwares buy कर रखे हैं, where we can use fonts, where we can use graphics elements, कुछ भी use कर सकते हैं. तो I think that is a very good thing, because आपके पास काफी सारे options भी हो जाते हैं, and you do not have to search on DA fonts की कि ये licensable है या नहीं, ये कमर्शियल फ्री है या नहीं, या फिर ये पर्सनल यूज के लिए है. तो आई थिंक दैट इज समथिंग जो बहुत प्रॉब्लमेटिक है और प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं. तो आई थिंक यू शुड मे बी because Envato ka what we are paying is around, I think, 800 something per month, and I think that is very um, not very much expensive. So you can do, if you are a good designer, if you are getting like good clients, so I think that is good to go. You can pay 800 per month.
All right, last question from Loaded Burger. He is asking, could you please tell us about your journey and your education? Do you have a design degree or just started working?
Okay, so about the journey, I'll answer this question that I do not have a design degree. Okay, and I think a lot of people ask me about this, and a lot of clients also ask me. They used to, they do not now. They used to ask me that, do you have a design degree? आपने कहाँ से किया है और ठीक है ये सब चीजें. So I do not have, and I think there is no need to have a design degree,
Exactly.
because it's like
It's in the
आपको
blood.
degree आपको बेसिक्स आ जाएँगे, आपको
Yeah.
फाउंडेशन पता चल जाएगी, बट दैट इज़ समथिंग यू कैन आल्सो लर्न ऑन योर जर्नी. यू कैन रीड बुक्स,
Hmm.
बहुत सारी बुक्स अवेलेबल हैं. द काइंड ऑफ नॉलेज आई एम ट्राइंग टू गिव यू गाइस, मैंने वो कहीं से सीखा है, तो दैट इज़ ऑल थ्रू बुक्स. आई हैव इवन नेवर बॉट एनी कोर्सेज़. एक आधा स्टार्टिंग में किया होगा, तो आई डोंट इवन रिमेंबर, बट आई डू नॉट बिलीव इन कोर्सेज़. आई ऑलवेज रीड बुक्स, आई ऑलवेज टेक हेल्प फ्रॉम यूट्यूब, and I think these are the best free resources you have
Hmm.
for you. Yeah.
100%. And Raj बहुत दिन देर से पूछ रहा है, have you dabbled in UI UX design?
No, 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 not right now into, like, I'm not into UX UI, but of course we have an agency, so we have a like skilled people who also do website, do packaging, strategy, and all of those stuffs for brands. So I'm not a UX UI designer, but we have people in the team, and we are always hiring. So if you ask someone who is good at UX UI UX, you can apply. Yeah.
For sure. If you can tell agency का नाम क्या है and all, so that people can go and have a look.
Okay, so it's not official yet,
Let's
because we are
go. Launching soon.
yes, very soon. We are working on the website. We are working on making it live. So it will be live by November end, I guess. And once it's live. We are gonna put a lot of like inquiries to hire,
Hmm.
and you guys can apply. Yeah.
Guys, simply जाके इंस्टा पे सर्च कर लो, या फिर राज इज, इफ राज इज देयर, they can drop the link of Kushika's Insta page, so that people can be in loop. Join Khushika का वो broadcast channel also join to get all the updates. I think वो
Yes,
broadcast channels काफ़ी अच्छा हो गया है. And एक और चीज़ when it comes to like designing and your journey specifically, I think sometimes like जितने भी लोग अभी देख रहे हैं कि like design एक ऐसी चीज़ है that everyone has inbuilt, and I think मेरे को ये
yes.
लगता है कि design कभी हम लोग सबको satisfy नहीं कर पाएंगे. What do you think?
एब्सोल्युटली आई थिंक वही मैंने कहा ना कि डिजाइनिंग इज वेरी सब्जेक्टिव.
Yeah.
हो सकता है कि मुझे जो चीज पसंद है बट आई एम मेकिंग फॉर माई सेल्फ आपको पसंद नहीं आएगी बट मे बी 10 अदर पीपल विल लाइक इट.
Hmm.
सो डिजाइन इज समथिंग दैट अ डिजाइनर डज टू सेटिस्फाई हिमसेल्फ. एंड ऑफ कोर्स अगर हम ब्रांड पे काम कर रहे हैं तो आई विल नॉट सजेस्ट टू सेटिस्फाई योरसेल्फ बट यू हैव टू सेटिस्फाई द ब्रांड
The
नीड्स.
client, yeah, for sure.
यस, नॉट
Uh,
एग्जैक्टली बट द ब्रांड नीड्स. या
एक और क्वेश्चन लाइक अभी आप जैसे एजेंसी के बारे में बता रहे हो, व्हाट्स लाइक द फ्यूचर लाइक फॉर खुशिका
ओके.
इन द
सो आई
कमिंग लाइक से कमिंग 6 मंथ क्या करना चाहते हो?
in coming 6 months, I think in some coming 6 months it's very clear that I have to start the agency because abhi tak na the clients I get, they are all, they come and they see me as a freelancer only. Okay, so but when we have an agency, companies come, brands come, and they see, okay, we are getting the work done from an agency, so the kind of impact an agency have is very different
Hmm.
as compared to a freelancer. So that is the vision right now, and for the next 6 months we are gonna focus a lot on the content making because बहुत time से नहीं हो पा रहा है, and we are busy in a lot of stuffs, events hai, and there are a lot of things going on the agency also. So we are trying to get very much sorted in like a month or two, and then we are gonna focus on the content making on Instagram, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and yeah, and everywhere.
दैट्स ग्रेट. एंड आई थिंक दैट्स इट फॉर द क्वेश्चन. एक दीप पूछ रहा है कि एनी गुड बुक्स टू लर्न टाइपोग्राफी?
Absolutely. I think the book I'm reading right now is Why Fonts Matter, and that is amazing. Okay. And I think if you are a beginner, you should always read it. Not even as a beginner, if you are an average designer, or even if if you are a very good designer, if you want to learn, like, go into very deep into the basics of typography. So it's a very good book. And that is what I'm reading right now for typography. Yeah.
Great. That's it. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in for this session. We have a ritual, Kushika, that we take photo at the end for everyone to tag us on the stories. तो गाइज
Sure.
अभी स्क्रीन पे जो है अभी आप ले सकते हो, मैं अपने फ़ोन से लेके डालूंगा अपने अपने अकाउंट पे, तो फॉर श्योर व्हाई नॉट. लेट्स टेक. आर यू रेडी?
Yes.
अच्छा
Okay.
भाई फोकस में. यस, 3 2 1. थैंक यू सो मच खुशिका फॉर डूइंग दिस फॉर
Thank
डिज़ाइनर.
you.
आज ये सेशन एकदम एंड में था इवेंट के, तो इसलिए अभी बहुत सारे लोग फॉल आउट हो चुके हैं.
I
बट
know.
वी आर ब्रिंगिंग अ वेरी, अभी जैसे काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें इन्फ्लुएंसर एंड लाइक डिज़ाइन इन्फ्लुएंसिंग के ऊपर बात हुई है. हम एक
Okay.
डिज़ाइन इन्फ्लुएंसिंग के ऊपर गाइस एक वर्कशॉप लेके आने वाले कॉल्ड सोशल स्पार्क. We will try to pull Kushika in as well as a speaker so that you can interact with her for an hour. हम मांगेंगे precious time, and काफ़ी busy हो जाएंगे आप खुशिका because of the agency, but for sure why not, we'll try our best. So I just इंस्टा पे भी लिंक है, हर जगह लिंक डाला हुआ है. in the Discord also you can go and register right now. Early bird उसका we have till 8th of November only, so register quick because you will get a chance to interact with Kushika, get a chance to learn सोशल मीडिया, कंटेंट क्रिएशन, वीडियो एडिटिंग, सब कुछ सिखाने वाला हूँ. मैं खुद सिखाऊंगा कि मैंने कैसे किया था. लिंक्डइन पे ग्रोथ भी सिखाऊंगा. सो ऑल ऑफ दैट, सो पूरा अच्छे से बताऊंगा. सो थैंक यू सो मच खुशिका फॉर जॉइनिंग इन. एंड
Absolutely. It was very fun, and I'm very glad that people came and they learned maybe a little. So I'm very happy. I'm just very happy to share everything that I have, and
थैंक यू
yeah,
सो मच
we'll
फॉर
be
एक्चुअली
starting it
रिफ्लेक्टिंग.
very soon.
या,
So all the people who are watching here, I know I'm not very much active on Instagram right now, but soon, jaldi, we will be on YouTube, and YouTube, you can share a lot of things. You have like more time as compared to Instagram. So yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
थैंक यू सो मच.
It's really a fun.
थैंक यू
Thank
सो
you.
मच फॉर जॉइनिंग इन. बाय बाय खुशिका.
Okay, bye. Okay, yeah.
ऑल राइट, दैट वॉज द सेशन. आई नो लोडेड बर्गर वो ए आई वाला जो आंसर है वो मैं करना चाहता हूँ तुम्हारे लिए स्पेसिफिकली. सो विल ए आई स्टील आवर जॉब्स? यस. किसकी लेकिन, वो भी एक क्वेश्चन है, कि सिंपल है यार, बेसिक। एआई एडवांस हो रहा है। एआई आज इतना केपेबल है कि वो मेरी, अगर तुम लोग अभी फोटो डालोगे कहीं भी, कोई भी बंदे की फोटो डालोगे, मेरी ऑडियो रिकॉर्ड करोगे, मैं अपने लाइक कोई भी मॉडल ट्रेन करने के लिए तुमको डेटा चाहिए, वीडियो फोटो, ये सब क्या डेटा है। डेटा बढ़ता जा रहा है, बढ़ता जा रहा है, एआई और स्ट्रॉन्ग होता जाएगा, दैट्स फॉर श्योर। इफ यू वांट डोंट वांट गेट रिप्लेस्ड बाय एआई, do something that AI can't do. That is customization, डिजाइनिंग में बहुत डिफिकल्ट है कि एआई पूरा एग्जैक्टली रेप्लिकेट कर पाएगा कि हम नीड क्या है ह्यूमन की, वो कभी पॉसिबल नहीं है। एटलीस्ट अंटिल कमिंग टू 20 years में तो बिल्कुल पॉसिबल नहीं लग रहा मेरे को। एंड 20 years आर इनफ, एंड आई थिंक एआई विल बी एज यूज एज अ टूल फॉर श्योर, जैसे अभी है। मैं अभी एआई के बारे में बहुत कुछ कवर करने वाला हूँ, बिकॉज बहुत साल होने वाले, लाइक 3 years होने वाले, इट्स द थर्ड ईयर ऑफ एआई, जब से चैट जीपीटी लॉन्च हुआ है। तो तब से काफ़ी सारे चेंजेस आए। मैं एज अ डिज़ाइनर, एज अ ह्यूमन बीइंग, कि कैसे एआई, लिंक्डइन, इंस्टाग्राम को यूज़ करके कैसे आप अपना एक पर्सनल ब्रांड बना सकते हो। जैसे आज खुशिका को हम जानते हैं, जैसे आज हम अंश मेहरा को जानते हैं, अनिक जैन को जानते हैं, इन सब लोगों ने क्या ऐसा किया। मैंने इन सबके साथ इंटरव्यू करा है, सबके साथ बात करी है, एक पैटर्न देखा है। वो पैटर्न मैं सोशल स्पार्क में बताऊंगा। आई नो प्रमोशन कर रहा हूँ, बट इट्स समथिंग फॉर द फोक्स हु एक्चुअली वांट टू मेक एन इम्पैक्ट। तो मैं अभी ही लिंक डाल देता हूँ, गिव मी 1 सेकेंड। मॉड्स आज है नहीं, सो दिस इज द लिंक, राइट। गो एंड रीड कि मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, है ना। इसमें एक डिस्क्रिप्शन है, वो समझ में आएगा आपको कि क्या है, क्या करने वाला है। वी आर गोना कॉल अंश मेहरा, लाइक लाइक दिस वन, लाइव। उसमें से लोगों को चांस मिलेगा अंश मेहरा के साथ कॉल पे आने का, इन सोशल स्पार्क ओनली, एंड बाकी ऑडियंस जैसे हैं वो देख सकते हैं। बट इसमें सबसे बड़ा फ़ायदा ये है कि अंश मेहरा के साथ, अच्छा, अंश मेहरा का डिस्कॉर्ड पे वाईटी पे ही होगा। वाईटी पे इसलिए बिकॉज काफ़ी सारे लोग मिस करते हैं, दीज सेशंस एंड स्टफ। एंड यूट्यूब पे परमानेंट होस्टिंग होता है इसका, तो एनी वन कैन वॉच इट एनी टाइम। हमारा कम्युनिटी का वही है कि इफ़ वी आर डूइंग थोड़ा सा, जैसे अभी वी आर मैनूवरिंग टूवर्ड्स थोड़ा सा पेड वर्कशॉप्स के साथ एक्सपेरिमेंट कर रहे हैं। डिज़ाइनर क्यों कर रहे हैं वो बताऊंगा, बिकॉज वी आर जनरेटिंग रेवेन्यू, थोड़ा सा रेवेन्यू जनरेट करके, सो दैट वी कैन साइकिल इट थ्रू, एंड एक रनवे बना सके डिज़ाइनर के लिए, फॉर सो दैट इट कैन सस्टेन। इट्स अ प्लांट दैट नीड्स वाटर, एंड इट्स वाटर इज़ मनी, ठीक है, टू सर्वाइव। तो आगे जाके मैं पूरी कोशिश यही करता हूँ कि जो भी अपन पेड वाली वर्कशॉप्स भी रखे, पे जो कर रहा है उसको इतना इंसेन अमाउंट ऑफ चीज़ें मिल जाएं कि वो बंदे को वो वैल्यू का 10x मिले। एंड आई थिंक दैट्स व्हाट वी डिड विद फॉन्टोवर। ईच एंड एवरी अटेंडी दैट वाज देयर, टॉप 10 निकालना वॉज वेरी डिफिकल्ट, बट आई हैव रिस्पेक्ट फॉर एवरी सिंगल वन। एंड आगे जाके तुम लोग देखना, डिज़ाइनर को बेस्ट कम्युनिटी ऑफ द वर्ल्ड बनाने जाने वाला हूँ फॉर श्योर। बहुत गलतियाँ करी फॉन्टोवर के साथ, लेकिन सीखा भी है उसके साथ। जब तक गलतियाँ नहीं करूँगा तब तक पता नहीं चलेगा कि क्या कर रहा हूँ, कैसे कर रहा हूँ। तो बस यही है, पूरा जान लगा दूंगा, ये तो फॉर श्योर है कि डिज़ाइनर एक ऐसी चीज़ होगी जिसमें डिज़ाइनर इज इक्वल टू डिज़ाइन करना है मेरे को, समझ रहे हो। उल्टा तो पॉसिबल नहीं है कि डिज़ाइन इज इक्वल टू डिज़ाइनर, लेकिन डिज़ाइनर इज इक्वल टू डिज़ाइन करना एटलीस्ट मेरा कर्तव्य रहेगा फॉर द कमिंग 10-11 years। एंड पूरी मेहनत कर दूंगा। अभी 1 साल ही हुआ है डिज़ाइनर को। आंसर माई क्वेश्चन, डूइंग मास्टर डिज़ाइन फ्रॉम कोलकाता, ओके। आई हैव अ वेरी controversial statement about masters, might get cancelled for this. I think masters is a waste of money, ठीक है। अगर तुम्हारे पास पैसा है, यू कैन सस्टेन अ लॉट, यू कैन डू 3 मास्टर्स की डिग्री, तो मास्टर्स करना, इतना पैसा हो तो भी। आई विल से वाई। मैं बहुत प्रैक्टिकल हूँ, मिडिल क्लास फैमिली से आता हूँ। मेरे को पता है कि कुछ पैसा रेवेन्यू है नहीं, देर इज़ सर्वाइवल ऑन माई ओन, आई हैव टू डू इट खुद से ही, है ना। तो मैंने देखा यार, मास्टर्स एजुकेशन इन इंडिया, दे हैव मेड अ बिजनेस आउट ऑफ इट। एंड इतना सीखने को नहीं मिलता जितना तुम खुद यूट्यूब, लोगों को देख देख के, लोगों से बात कर करके सीख सकते हो, ठीक है। सबके सीनियर्स होते हैं, सबके दोस्त होते हैं। सुनो, देखो कि वो क्या कर रहे हैं, अपना खुद के एक जर्नी एंड पैटर्न निकालना चालू करो। दैट्स वॉट the goal should be. And I think this is where, like, अब मैं तुम्हारे को बताता हूँ कि designer is not hiring, designer will be hiring very soon, so get ready, because we are about to launch a platform for designer that's gonna sustain, and थोड़ा सा ground breaking हो सकता है, that can help solve the problem of finding a client, that can help clients to find freelancers that are trustable. वो trust factor बहुत important होता है. Basically we are trying to build Zomato for designers. That's what I can say. ठीक है. फॉन्ट पेयरिंग आज रात को आ जाएगी बाय 7 PM या 6 PM. रात तो क्या, इवनिंग ही है, राइट. दैट विल बी डिजाइनर्स प्लेटफॉर्म. तो अभी तुम लोग देख रहे हो ना, अभी 27 लोग, 28 लोग, मेरे को उससे फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता कि कितने लोग देख रहे हैं. मेरे को ये पता है कि फॉर श्योर मैनिफेस्ट कर रहा हूँ, फॉर श्योर एक दिन अपन डिज़ाइनर को रजिस्टर करेंगे ऑफिशियली, एंड डिज़ाइनर का एक शेयर होगा लिस्ट. ये मेरा ड्रीम है, फॉर श्योर करेंगे. एंड डिज़ाइनर के साथ जो प्लान है आगे जाके 2025 में, मेजरली is building that platform that we are trying to build. It's going to be hard coded, so we have a whole tech team working day and night. वो चल रहा है, धीरे धीरे आ जाएगा. वेट, दिसंबर जनवरी तक वेट करो, थोड़ा बहुत धीरे धीरे करके आएगा. दिस होल 2025 विल बी फुल ऑफ ऑफलाइन इवेंट्स. काफ़ी सारे ऑफलाइन इवेंट्स लेके आने वाले हैं डिज़ाइनर, अलग अलग जगहों पे लेके आने वाला है डिज़ाइनर. पहले मुंबई में काफ़ी सारे होने वाले, तो मुंबई पीपल स्टे ट्यून्ड. एंड आगे जाके देखते हैं व्हाट वी कैन डू इन अदर सिटीज ऑल्सो. कोशिश कर रहे हैं. देन आई एम अबाउट 2025 में आई विल बी लॉन्चिंग माई सेकेंड प्लेटफॉर्म. जैसे अगर यहाँ पे 29 लोग जो देख रहे हैं कि उन लोगों को आइडिया है, दे वांना बिल्ड समथिंग, बिल्ड अ प्रोडक्ट, बिल्ड अ सर्विस, वट एवर, बिल्ड अ स्टार्टअप, उनके लिए एक खुशखबरी है. स्किप करके एक नया प्लेटफॉर्म लॉन्च करने वाला हूँ. इट विल बी लाइक डिज़ाइनर बट फॉर एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, एंड it will help you get funded if you are actually able to execute your idea. तो काफ़ी कुछ है. Try having a design walk or something. Design walk, cool idea for sure. Why not? Now, कमिंग वीक में क्या होने वाला है? ब्रिंग अंश मेहरा टू मुंबई फॉर श्योर भाई. वो तो फॉर श्योर है, वो तो उसने बोल दिया. उसी अंश मेहरा के साथ काफ़ी अच्छी दोस्ती है. नॉल राजीव मेहता के साथ काफ़ी अच्छी दोस्ती है. राजीव मेहता को कौन कौन जानता है? प्रेस वन. कोई जानता है राजीव मेहता को? ऑब्वियसली सब जानते होंगे भाई राजीव मेहता. वन. आज काफ़ी, आई नो कि लाइक सब लोग बोल रहे थे कि पुअर टाइम फॉर द स्लॉट इज़ नॉट ऑन मी. आई हैव टू एडजस्ट अकॉर्डिंग टू द स्पीकर दैट आई एम गेटिंग इन. तो थोड़ा वो होता है. एंड भाई रोमानी, अल्टीमेट लेवल ऑफ रिस्पेक्ट फॉर यू. द लेवल, ओके वेट, लेट मी जस्ट शो इट. अगर मेरे को मिलता है तो थोड़ा सा रुको, सिर्फ कैम देखो अभी मेरा. ओके, दिस इज़ माई रूम, इग्नोर माई रूम. ठीक है, 1 सेकेंड. वेयर इज रोमानी? 1 सेकेंड. वाओ, राजीव मेहता commented on your post, or Ansh Mehra commented on your post? Who commented on your post? All right. ये देखो guys. Where did it go? रोमानी का मेरे को स्पेसिफिकली तुम लोगों को दिखाना है, बिकॉज द लेवल ऑफ वर्क दैट शी हैज पुट इन इज इनसेन. मैं देख के मैंने कहा ये क्या हो गया. ये देखो गाइस, रुको मैं अपना कैमरा ऑन करता हूँ यहाँ पे. मैंने कहा 1 सेकंड, ये पहले तो मेरे को लगा ये ओके ओके, ये जब ये इसे 2 बार डाल दी, लेकिन मैंने कहा ये क्या हो रहा है. फिर जब ये आया ना भाई, ओ शिट हो गया भाई, ये क्या हो गया भाई. इनसेन. लाइक ये एक गेम बनाया है रोमानी के अंदर, रोमानी ने. तुम लोग देखना, ये लिंक शेयर्ड है इन फॉन्टोबर ग्रुप, ओनली एक्सेस टू फॉन्टोबर पीपल, दैट्स व्हाई यू रजिस्टर. ये देखो गाइस, ऑब्जेक्ट है ना, इसका स्कोरिंग एंड विनिंग कैसे करना है. प्रॉपर वो जो होता है ना मोनोपोली स्टाइल में जो गेम बनाई है, इनसेन. और वो टोक्यो जापान थीम, ओफ ओ भाई, इनसेन टॉप. दिस इज लाइक क्वालिटी स्टफ, लाइक जेन्युइन क्वालिटी स्टफ जिसको मैं बोलता हूँ. तो ऑब्वियसली ये काफ़ी अच्छा अचीवमेंट है डिज़ाइनर के लिए. ये काफ़ी अच्छा शोकेस है ये डिज़ाइनर का, कि डिज़ाइनर कैन बी समथिंग बिग, राइट. इट्स जस्ट वर्ड ऑफ माउथ स्प्रेड. तो एक एक विनती मांगूंगा तुम लोगों से बस. हाँ भाई, आई एम इन द कॉल. एक विनती है मेरी तुम लोगों से, अगर सीख सकते हो तो, अगर हेल्प कर सकते हो तो, जस्ट स्प्रेड द वर्ड फॉर दिस. डिज़ाइनर में बहुत मेहनत कर रहे हैं हम सारे इंजीनियर्स हैं एक तो, वी ऑल आर स्टडिंग, मैं अभी सेकंड ईयर में हूँ अपने इंजीनियरिंग के, बाकी सारे डिज़ाइनर के लोग कोई सेकंड ईयर में है, कोई फर्स्ट ईयर में, कोई 12th स्टैंडर्ड में। हम सारे ने मिलके इतना अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म बना रहे हैं, और अभी सिर्फ 1.5 ईयर कंप्लीट भी नहीं हुआ है, अभी 1 ईयर 2 मंथ्स 3 मंथ्स हुए हैं। वी हैव पुश्ड इन लॉट ऑफ वर्क, एंड एक साल के अंदर क्या क्या करने वाले हैं, ठीक है। सो स्टे ट्यून्ड, और कुछ नहीं बोलूँगा, बस लेवल बोलूँगा कि बस वॉच डिज़ाइनर, हैव दूर से देखना कि ये क्या करने वाला है, ये वंश अग्रवाल क्या कर देगा, कुछ तो इंसेन लेके आने वाला फॉर श्योर। एंड जो हायरिंग वाला पूछ रहे थे लोग, वी हैव लॉन्च्ड एन एजेंसी, जैसे खुशिका ने लॉन्च करी, हम भी एक एजेंसी लॉन्च कर रहे हैं, बट वी आर गोइंग टुवर्ड्स कंटेंट क्रिएशन एंड सोशल मीडिया, राइट, SMMA। सो उसकी भी जो भी इंफॉर्मेशन आएगी वो सब आ जाएगी इन द ब्रॉडकास्ट चैनल्स ऑफ डिज़ाइनर, दैट इज डिस्कॉर्ड एंड इंस्टा एंड ऑन व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप एज वेल। सो दैट्स इट। आई टेक अ लीव नाउ, बहुत चपड़ चपड़ कर ली, अब तुम लोग जाओ, रेस्ट करो, रिलैक्स करो, एंड वी हैव अनदर सेशन दिस वीक विद Maitri Kalasar Kalaskar, आई डोंट नो हाउ टू प्रोनाउंस her नेम, सो सॉरी फॉर दैट। बहुत अच्छी ब्रांड डिज़ाइनर है वो भी, एंड उनके साथ इंटरेक्टिव सेशन है, तो उनका गूगल फॉर्म आएगा, गूगल फॉर्म करो, लूमा फॉर्म आएगा, जिसमें आप अपने क्वेश्चंस पूछ सकते हैं। क्वेश्चंस के लिए टिप दूंगा, ऐसे क्वेश्चंस पूछो जो तुम्हारे को लगता है ओवरऑल सब लोगों को बहुत ज़्यादा हेल्प करेंगे, एंड रिपीटेटिव ना हो। जैसे हमने बार बार फॉन्ट्स के बारे में क्वेश्चन मत पूछो, कुछ ऐसा पूछो जो तुम्हारे को लगता है कि इट कैन बी रिलेटेड टू एन इंडस्ट्री, समझ रहे हो, वैसा कोई क्वेश्चन पूछो, थोड़ा डीप जाओ अपने क्वेश्चन में, देन यू विल गेट सिलेक्टेड, ठीक है। दैट्स इट, ऑल द बेस्ट, एंड टॉप 10 को ऑल द बेस्ट, कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशन बोलना चाहूँगा, एंड लेट्स सी व्हाट यू कुक ऑन दिस वीक फॉर द फाइनल वीक ऑफ फॉन्टोवर। सब लोग के लिए ओपन है, सब लोग यूज़ कर सकते हैं वो फॉन्ट पेयरिंग, अपने डिज़ाइन बना सकते हैं, फीडबैक ले सकते हैं पूरी कम्युनिटी से। सो दैट्स इट, आई टेक अ लीव, पीस आउट गाइज, एंड कीप डिजाइनिंग।